What's up, you guys? Welcome back to the YouTube Barber Academy. We are, of course, in the truck for another ride to work, a good morning live, and how bad do you want it? And I think that we just got to be honest with ourselves about certain things. You know, certain things you're willing to accept in life and just say that that's how it's going to be. And other things in life you're going to fight for until you get to where you want to be. And that's what we're going to talk about this morning. Let's let some people get back in the room, and let's let some things get loaded up. Thank you, man, for jumping in and already smashing that like button. I do appreciate that. And yesterday we released a video where I did a fade cut, beard enhancement, and we are going to do a giveaway for that video soon. Not yet. I'm going to let that video run a little bit longer. But YouTube was so kind, out of 127,000 subscribers, that they showed it to 600 people. So that was so nice of them. You know what I mean? Good morning. Good morning, Big T. Good morning, Chris. Good morning, Esther. Good morning, Heather Lynn. I seen your comment earlier. I meant to reply to it, but that was not a live. That was just a regular upload. And just so you guys know, there is a giveaway going. And if you watch the entire video, I purposefully placed it at the viewer retention drop-off point so that people who actually watch the video would learn how to possibly win. And yeah, if you guys go back, watch that video, see exactly what you got to do to win, and we're gonna make it happen. We're gonna make it happen. So, all right, I'm gonna open up today's live by sharing a story of somebody I know who is going to remain nameless. All right. So, once upon a time, there was a student who went to barber school. In fact, there was a lot of barber school students who went through this, and they went balls to the wall, gun ho, can-do attitude, getting things done, and at a certain point, it just didn't matter anymore. It was like they just didn't want it the way they did in the beginning. Because in the beginning of these things, you're full of energy and commitment towards the goal. And this is a lot like working out. Working out's like, okay, I worked out today, and you go check the mirror to see if there's any change in your muscles, and you're not going to see any. But if you believe what you're doing is going to lead you to a better physique, you keep doing it. And then after a month, 2 months, 3 months, the longer you go, you start to notice, you know what, I am getting better. I am getting stronger. And school can be just like that. So what happens to a lot of people is they hit the slump. And I've talked about the slump before. But you just have to be honest with yourself. When you get into barber school and you make that commitment, it has to be all the way. Listen to me right now. If you're sitting out there and you're thinking about making a change to your life for the better, barbering is something you're interested, something you want to do. Maybe it's something you never have done but always have had an interest in. Don't go to barber school if you're not ready to commit. Because the only thing that's going to happen to you is you're going to be on the hook for all kinds of money. You're going to waste all kinds of time. And you're not going to be able to get your license because you don't have the drive. But if you are in barber school, and let's say that you've been skipping days. Let's say that you've been putting off work. And you've been just telling yourself and justifying it in stupid ass ways. I'm just too busy. I just don't got time for that homework. I just don't got time to grow my skills. Everybody else is better at it than me. Well, if you're busy having this pity party and this justification party for all the bad shit you're doing, then you're never going to get up and get it done, right? You got to get up and you got to get it done. You have already committed to barber school. Therefore, you're already on the hook for all that money. So at the very least, you need to leave with your license. Now, There's a lot of opportunities that open up when you have your barber license, and let's just talk about a few of them. It's not just cutting hair. Obviously, you can go and you can cut hair. But as the internet and companies are finally starting to wake up to this idea that the people on the internet are actually the ones that are going to sell your products, and companies are just starting to figure this out. It's kind of a surprise to me that Target and Walmart have not really figured this out yet, but Amazon figured it out early, and a lot of other companies are very successful using influencers and using people to help move their products. So where I'm going with this is, if you have your barber license, it'll legitimize you. You might wind up working as a sales rep for a company. You might wind up working for a product company. You might wind up working for a company that sells curling irons or blow dryers or whatever. You just don't know the opportunities that might be presented to you unless you complete that one basic task. And ask yourself, truthfully, before you get involved in something, doesn't even have to be this. Before you get involved in something, ask yourself something: how bad do you really want it? Could you see yourself sacrificing for this? Could you see yourself getting up day in and day out for this? Working towards this? And if the answer is yes, you need to go for it. And if you've already committed and for some reason you've hit this slump, I think it's time that you look at yourself in the mirror and say, am I comfortable with throwing away all this money? Am I comfortable with throwing away this idea? Count the cost, Chris. Count the cost. If you're comfortable with sacrificing all that you've already worked for and sacrificing that money, and I know on a lot of occasions, a lot of barbers who've went to school wound up getting their tuition covered by somebody else, a parent, a family member, somebody who wanted to see them do something with their life. And you can't blame people for trying that. And I have seen, unfortunately, in the course of 10 years working as an instructor, I've seen people nosedive with somebody else's money, which is just awful. In my opinion, if you got so lucky to go to school for free and you threw it away, I don't know what value you could possibly have in life going forward from that. Like, what could you possibly do going forward from that? That's just a jerk move. Oh my God, it's the king, y'all. This guy walks around, I swear. Yo, y'all see him? Oh, it's the king. It's gonna be a good day. All right, so this guy might have mental problems. I don't know, but he dresses up like that every day, and he just walks around. And a lot of people around here, every once in a while, you'll see the king. And, I'm going to take that as a sign of good luck. I'm going to take that as a sign of good luck. But, yeah, so back to it. The people who typically do that are usually young kids without much world experience. And they're throwing away a perfectly good education. They're throwing away a perfectly good amount of money and a perfectly good amount of time. Because when you're young and you're stupid, sometimes that's what you do. You misprioritize. But when you get to be a little older, and for all my people who are going to school a little bit older, I want you guys to realize this. All your experience in life that you've had prior to going to school for barbering, it actually counts for something. The way you communicate with people, the way that you've learned how to use customer service, the way that you've just learned how to deal with life, how to deal with setbacks, how to deal with disappointments, how to deal with being patient when you're young and impetuous. Your patience is this thin. When you get a little bit older, you realize the good things in life do take some time. They do. So for all the people who are going to barber school or going to school a little bit older, you're not at a disadvantage. You're not. You might actually be at a bigger advantage than you know, because barbering is not really about the most skilled individual in the room. Rarely. That matters so little. Because I would just like to remind you guys that customers are not sitting around scrolling feeds full of perfect haircuts that are photoshopped. Customers don't give one shit about haircuts. Most of them don't give one shit about haircuts. They're just needing one every so often, and they come in and they get it. And that's that. That's the reality of it. They're not learning about clippers. They don't give a shit about trimmers. They don't care about none of this other stuff. By and large, you're a very small part of their life. So if you're doing a decent job and you're talking to them and you're making them feel comfortable and you're giving them an experience they can't get somewhere else and you're making them feel good, you're winning. And that's why I think people who go to barber school a little bit later in life, that's where the advantage comes in. 38 going to barber school, I think I just read that. 35, Quentin Thomas is 35 going to barber school. And that's the perfect time. It really is. When you're 35, you're starting to wake up to some of the things in life, and you can be patient and you can understand and you can be okay with some disappointments and some setbacks because we've dealt with that. As you get older, you've dealt with that. 40 years old, 50 years old, it don't matter. Paige Styles, you're 40 years old, but the Bills are the best they've ever been in your whole life. Preach, baby. He said, get like Mike. Preach. I need to hear this. Wow, sir. Thanks. I appreciate that, man. I appreciate that. So, realistically, I think it really boils down to how bad do you want something, and it doesn't really matter what that something is. How bad do you want a big clientele? Are you willing to sacrifice for it? How bad do you want to own your own shop? How bad do you want to finish barber school? Short-term goals. How am I going to get out of this slump if I found myself in it? And I'll give you guys a couple of ideas. For those of you guys who are in barber school sitting in that slump, here's a couple of things that could help you. Go visit somebody successful. Make somebody into a mentor. All right? So find a mentor. Find somebody that you can ask some questions to that would be happy to mentor you and give you some ideas of what you're going to do. And let's just say you did 20 haircuts a day, like easy ones, and you only charge $20 and nobody tips you. You're going to make $400 a day. Do that 5 days a week. You're going to make $2,000. Let the money motivate you if that's what it is. Look at your kids. Look at your wife. Look at your family. Let them motivate you. What do you want to be? An example to your kids? Hey, I went to school and I flunked out and I just said, fuck it. Is that the example that you want to set to your kids? How about your family? We paid for you to go to school. You're just throwing it away. You're busy doing drugs, partying, and the last thing on earth you're thinking about is school. Wake up. Let that motivate you. Now, the next thing you could do, go to a show. Go to a show. Go to a barber show. There's something to be said about that. There's a reason that so many people go to the shows. We go to the shows for inspiration. We go to the shows for different ideas. We go to the shows and we realize this is bigger than us. We realize that we're connected to an apparatus that's really big, really fun, really something that you feel proud to be a part of. And when you leave the show, a lot of times you feel kind of rejuvenated. You got new tools, you got new ideas, you got new things to try, and you head to the shop and you do it. Another thing that could motivate you, even if you don't need it, just buy a new tool. I used to do that all the time. Just buy a new tool and use it. Sometimes that was enough to make me say, I can't wait to get to the shop, man. I want to try this new trimmer or this new clipper or these new guards or this new something. All right? Sometimes that would be enough to get me up out of my slumps. And don't think that barber school is going to be the first slump that you're going to have to climb out of. You're not. It isn't. You're going to have to climb out of a couple of different slumps because when you get right down to it and you do start barbering, you're going to hit another slump. I don't feel like advertising. I don't feel like posting. I don't feel like this. I don't feel like that. I don't feel like doing the things that I know are going to bring success to my life because I too have hit a slump. And it's happened to me. And the one thing that I could tell you that I think I'm learning in life as things start to get easier for me the one thing that I'm learning in life. I lost my train of thought. He said, I've also been getting reps. I've been getting reps on my family during that time, but I'm going to school with an open mind, ready to learn. That's what's up, Quentin. He said, yes, I left out LA BarberCon ready to conquer the world. Yep, that's what it is, man. So the one thing that I was going to say is it's not, it's not about what you do when you feel like doing shit. It's about doing shit that you don't feel like doing. It's about actually getting up and doing the things that you just don't feel like doing. Sometimes you just got to push on through to the other side. Morning, Amber. Thank you for being a member. Thank you for joining. So he says there will be hills and valleys for our whole life. So you're right. We just need to get used to it. And that's really the premise of the whole thing. And, I think there's some good value, too. There's some good value in just also being honest with yourself and just asking yourself, like, where am I really wasting my time? This is a you thing. It's you and no other. You can lie to your wife. You can lie to your friends. You can lie to the people you talk to on the street. I'm too busy to do this. I'm too busy to do that. I don't got time. But, like, really, when you conduct an internal assessment of where all your time is going during the day, where you might actually find some time, how you might just reorganize and restructure your day so that you have a little bit of time, and maybe try to find some type of structure to it so that you can start using that time more effectively, so you can still have time to do all them things that you want to do, but cut out that little piece of time. I don't care if it's 45 minutes or if it's an hour. It's like when I start showing up to go work out, there's days where I just don't have it. I don't want to spend the 2 hours in the gym. I don't want to go bananas. But I still show up and do something. All right? That's what it's about. It's about showing up and doing something. And if you could carve that little piece of time out to say, you know what, for this hour, I'm gonna advertise myself. I'm gonna put together some posts. I'm gonna schedule some posts. I'm gonna do some things, and I'm gonna set that time aside for that moment. And just be honest with yourself about it. And there's really no reason to lie to yourself. You can tell stories in the world about whatever you want. Don't got time for this. Don't got time for that. And I ain't got time to listen to that shit. There's only really one person in this life who matters, and it's that person in the mirror who's looking back at you. And that's the person that you need to have this consultation with. Where are we going wrong? How are we getting off track? How do we get back on track? What are the things that I need to put in life together? What are my goals? And if I have my goals, what are my plans to reach my goals? Those are the things that you need to be asking yourself. Because that's why people set goals. I don't know if you know that, but people set goals just for the simple sake of, okay, I have this goal. What are the steps that I'm going to put in place to reach that goal? And if it's a short-term goal, finishing barber school, finish your barber school. Don't procrastinate. Don't put it off. Don't wait till the last day to study. Don't wait till the last day to get all your hours. Don't wait till the last minute. Just do that. Just knock that out. All right? Okay, you guys, I'm going to let you go. I do appreciate you all for jumping in. I hope you got something out of this live. And if you did, smash that like button, drop a comment, maybe share it with somebody who needs to hear it. If it hits you in some way like that and, it helps out, it really helps the channel grow when you guys do those types of things. And let's face it, man, YouTube is not loving the long form content and some of the stuff that I'm doing, but I'm trying to do my best to provide value to you guys, and I don't really care what YouTube thinks. So, all right, you guys, this is the YouTube Barber Academy. I appreciate all of you guys for jumping in. I'm Mr. Dirty Barber, and I'll catch you guys soon in the next one. Peace.